Welcome to a new episode of Connected from Home, where we stay home, stay safe, yet refuse to be disconnected. We connect with different people all around the world virtually, get to know more about them, have fun, and seek inspiration. Our guest today is Rashid Al Hamar. He studied business abroad yet became one of Bahrain's pioneering journalists. He's the vice chairman of Bahrain Journalists Association and the online news editor of Al Ayyam newspaper. We'll give him a call now, get to know more about him, his journey with journalism, why he shifted his career, and much more. Hello, Rashid. It's a pleasure having you with us in this episode of Connected from Home.
Hi, Hiba. It's a great honor for me to be with you today on TV. We're trying to cope with change and keep up with technology and yet still stay in touch with you guys. It's a pleasure for me as well.
Please tell us more about yourself.
I'm Rashid Al Hamar. I am from Bahrain. I am the editor-in-chief of the Al Ayyam online portal. It's a leading Arabic newspaper in Bahrain. And I am also a board member in the Al Ayyam Publishing Group, which is the holding company of the media group that I work with, which has under it printing presses, advertising units, and publishing group for books and a bookstore, and a numerous number of publications. Right now, I hold the position of the vice president of the Bahrain Journalists Association, which is the local syndicate that defends the rights for journalists in Bahrain. They train them, they advocate for them, and make sure that the Bahraini journalists are always getting what they deserve and more, inshallah.
Did you always know that you want to be a journalist?
No, not really. I grew up young in Bahrain. From a family with the journalistic. My father is a journalist and he's the founder of the newspaper I work in today. I was very close to him growing up. I studied in school, went to university abroad. I studied business. I didn't have any intentions of getting into the media business or maybe into it from an administrative point of view. Later on, when I came back, put my hands into it, started to work. It started the inner feelings and the wisdom came to me to put my hands in, and I started liking it. It's a very nice job. It's very different from any other job. It always keeps you informed. Every day is a different day in the office. You start off with a very calm day. You end up a busy day. Numerous of things change during the day. So I like dealing with the unexpected. And it's fun. It keeps you always in the circle. You know everything's going on around you. You always have the answers for many questions where people are asking. It's a challenging job, but it's a lot of fun too.
Okay, so you told me you studied business. What was the turning point? What made you decide, like, you know what? I think I should be a journalist. What was the turning point?
I think when I came back to Bahrain, started to work in the company. I saw myself fit in the newsroom more than the administrative room. I thought I can give more there, and then carrying my family name, carrying my father's heritage in newspaper. I think I could build from it and become something even better.
Yes, it is a very interesting job, but it's very hard at the same time. So how were you when you first started being a journalist, and when you decided, you know what, I'm gonna be a journalist? How was it? And if you compare yourself back then to Rashid today, how do you see the difference?
Just like everything you start, there are teething problems. So in the beginning, you're trying to find the balance and how do you fit in. You start off being in coverages and listening to people. You're always trying to have the balanced story. In the beginning, sometimes you're young and you have this passion for something and you run after a thing, and then you forget the real picture. And after it's printed, you read it again and then you see, oh my God, I could have done it better in this way. I could have done it better this way. Maybe I should have given the third party more point of view, or balance it even more. Nowadays, it's very natural. In the beginning, it's the teething problems you go through, and then you overcome them, just like anything else you start.
Okay, you are very active generally. All journalists, I think it's like a term or something. We all have to be very, very active. We're here and there. So I bet your lifestyle before quarantine has been different. So how is it now? Some people didn't do anything about it, and some people became very creative. So where do you see yourself?
It's very difficult coping with what's going on, but most importantly is making sure that everyone is safe. For us, we did a lot to ensure the safety of our staff. In the beginning, we were all working from home, and actually, it's some things we gained in this situation. I think are going to stay with us for a long time. We've been working from home using all the technology. I'm thankful most of our staff are very technology savvy. We were able to roll out our Zoom meetings almost from the first day without any glitches or any problems. It's very straightforward. People were meeting as if we were in the office, carrying on our daily routine, reporting and doing our background stories and everything from home. And then we had the digital team, which was doing the page making, everything. We moved them from home. Before it was compulsory to do that. So we were ahead of the game. We were trying to always have a plan B and C in case things get worse. Thankfully, we didn't reach to that stage yet. And I think the biggest challenge for us is just that we were used to being everywhere all the time, meeting people, and that's how you get your news stories, your exclusives. You get them through not through the official meeting, through the off the side talk, the side notes. Maybe you get a hint there from the person in charge or something. You can't get that when you're working from home, or when you're messaging somebody by WhatsApp or speaking to him on the phone. He will be very straightforward. He'll answer you just the question you asked. You won't get the side chat or the gossip or anything around the story. So
let's see. Maybe we can get out some gossips from you.
Maybe you never know if you're lucky. If you're lucky.
So we can still stay in touch virtually, right?
I'm used to the person being asking the question. So it's very difficult when you're being asked the question. You like to
I know.
Take charge.
I once tried being in your place, and yes, it was weird. I'm always used to asking, so I know the feeling.
It is difficult, yeah.
But this is a friendly conversation. It's not like a formal interview. Like I'm literally on my couch. It's a couch to couch conversation, right? So from couch to couch.
You always have to try the hot seat for once.
Yeah. Yes. Do you find any positive aspects about this period?
There are many positive things actually. We learned how to enjoy ourselves with our families in our houses. We had a lot more free time, so we can invest that time in getting culture, learning, reading. I buy so many books around the year on Amazon or on book fairs and stuff, but I read half of them or even less. During this time, we were free to look at our libraries and pick a book and read it, and watch a movie we haven't watched before, spend time with my nieces and get some quality time with them. Even we've learned to appreciate the outdoors. We've never been going outside doing our exercise. The gyms are closed, so we had to adapt with what we have. We started running on the roads. Again, we're cycling. People are now the summertime's coming. They're gonna be back swimming, seeing the seas.
Have you started any cooking experiences?
I've observed. I don't cook. I don't have the patience for that, but I've been trying. I've been experimenting the outcomes of others.
Okay. So are there any like newly developed skills? Maybe perhaps observing cooking, for example. What else?
I don't think I'll be in the kitchen soon because I don't have the patience for that. But I've been a consumer definitely of whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still okay. You can be like, for example, I don't know, a food expert, food blogger or something.
We're working out a lot, so we have the excess calories to put them in.
Yes, but I don't think even the working like out would make up for the calories that we eat. Like
We're
it's a.
we're trying to be at a deficit.
I'm trying as well. So, like you going observing in the kitchen, I think that this is not something usual, not something that you've been like doing before. So, how does your family feel about your presence now at home? You're a
Oh,
journalist. You
I,
don't need to explain to me that you were never present at the house. I do understand. So now you are present at the house for like longer hours. You get to like experience different things with your mom, for example, in the kitchen. So how do they feel about it?
I think they can't wait for this issue to end so that we can get out of their ways and everybody has their space back again.
Why are you annoying them?
I don't know. I hope not.
No, I bet you're not. So maybe you're messing up some things in the kitchen or
I'll
no.
try to stay away for now. I'll try to stay away. From the kitchen.
Okay. Or maybe sometimes some of like my friends tell me that their moms are like very organized. They place the cushions like for example in a certain manner, and then they go and sit on the couch, and then they ruin everything, and then their mom is like, I can't wait for corona to be over. I think you should go back to work.
I, I
And I need to.
I think so as well. As well as my sister, she can't wait for her kids to go back to school. Yeah, the teaching
Yeah.
home and teaching them. They
Very
a lot of
challenging.
are suffering, but in the end, everybody's enjoying each other's company.
Of course.
That's what brings us all together, and this is the silver lining, I think, of the whole Corona situation. People are getting in touch with each other like they've never been before. They've been even people who are not in the same country, people who are far abroad, are keeping in touch, making sure everybody's being taken care of. We're taking extra cautious with our loved ones, especially the elderly. We are trying to keep the distance, yet trying to manage their emotional state to make sure that we're there for them, make sure everything. A lot of people, a lot of people actually really appreciate this concern from everybody, and it's definitely helping them get through this situation.
Since you are responsible for the online section or the online version of Al Ayam newspaper, and nowadays I don't think that like people would like to buy paper newspapers to avoid infection, or like I think it's magnified nowadays. So please let us know, what do you think about the future of online newspapers and paper newspapers as well? Like, is this gonna vanish and this is gonna replace it? What do you
I,
think? What's your vision?
I think the role of media in general has become very important right now. It's been important all along, but a lot of people depend on us right now. Our role has been magnified in terms of raising awareness of what's going on. People want to consume information just like they want to consume food or any other object. But the information is important to get the awareness message out there. So we are working hand in hand with the government, with the task force that's issuing the guidelines for Corona, making sure we get the positive message out, making sure we get the right message out to everybody in Bahrain to stay aware, to get the right message. People have to be careful where do they get their information from. They only always need to get it from a reliable source.
To your experience studying abroad,
Yes.
how was it?
I feel I was lucky enough to have the opportunity to study abroad. I went to school, to university in Boston. I studied business management and I did my MBA there as well. I think the most important thing of studying abroad is not what you learn in your classrooms or in the universities. It's the ability to be self-dependent, to depend on yourself, to live alone, to take care of yourself as a human being. I think in our region, we are brought up in homes we're looked after a bit too much.
Yes,
So
we are very pampered.
yeah,
We should
so when you go out there, you're by yourself. You make the right. You have to make the right decision or the wrong decision. You come out with the right decision. You meet other cultures. You meet people. You get exposed to people. You share your story, your culture with others, and then you get to learn about people, your cooking, your story, your talk about your languages, your metaphors, everything. You get exposed to a different side of work. You come back being definitely being a more knowledge person, a person with substance. I would say, as in terms of depending on yourself, in terms of it's the skills you learn and not what you learn in school. Definitely, you can learn in school
Yeah.
anyway. You can learn online right now, everything online, but it's the network you make there. When you have friends all over the world from different cultures, you're exposed. When you come back, you have a different perspective of things. You always want to see the good things you learn there. You try to bring them here, try to implement the good ideas, the positive ideas, and try to make the environment you're living in a better environment. Try to bring in ideas that will help others in their daily lives, whether or in their routine, basically.
So, did you get a culture shock? Can you give us some examples?
I definitely got a culture shock when I came back to Bahrain, not when I went to the US. Being exposed to the American culture and to the European culture, I was prepared to go there, so I knew what I was going to go for. When I came back, definitely there were a lot of culture shocks. It takes you time to get in, to blend in, till you get back into your normal phase.
Yeah, people here are very, very friendly. In the Middle East, like
People,
much more friendly. I do get that.
people in Bahrain tend to be very generous. So you're used to people there, very straightforward, shrewd, and then all of a sudden you're with generous people who let you.
Very kind and generous people.
Very.
Yes.
So there is a confusion of a level of expectation, what to expect and what to. Yeah.
Yes, I get that. So if you want to pass on the experience like to other people, what would you like if you're gonna give them an advice, for example, what would you say?
If you have an opportunity to travel abroad, wherever it is, definitely capture that opportunity. Life gives you many opportunities. Try to capture the most of them. Definitely focus on your character, on your behavior. Remember, when you're abroad, you're an ambassador to your country. Every student is an ambassador to his culture, to his family, to his. They have to be a very good example to the people they are meeting abroad, and okay, focus on your education, on your academic work, but also try to learn from other people's cultures.
Okay, so if I may ask you, have you like done some things out of your comfort zone? Like what are you most afraid of and how did you overcome it, for example?
One of my things that out of my comfort zone is probably this interview with you. Definitely getting on TV or in a live setting and having a camera in front of you can be sometimes stressful to many people. But the ways to overcome it is basically by doing it more and more and getting more comfortable with it. Learning how to have a person-to-person connection with the person you're talking to in front of you. Trying to just be you, be natural as much as possible, and overcoming your fears by basically looking at the thing in front of you and trying to overcome it face to face or eye to eye.
And I think a proof that you're very good at this that we did not notice anything. So
I
you're
hope,
doing a great job.
especially being in the field, being a journalist. As I said before, you like to be in charge. You like to be the one asking the questions. So when you're put in the hot seat, it's a different feeling. You always want to intervene. You want to have the right. You want to have the right to be able to ask the question and put the person in place. But today, when the positions change, it's definitely a different feeling.
You're very young now, and it has been quite a journey. So, what's your ultimate dream, if I may ask you?
My ultimate dream is basically to be to run a media group, a larger media group on many platforms, basically to cater to many genres, to more lifestyle, sports. We can have many business news, a whole comprehensive media group that caters to everybody and has a taste for everybody in its library. Basically, we are not so far away from that dream. I've started in a group that's been blessed to have already a long history. All we have to do is basically listen to the people and to the needs of the street and cater to them. Hopefully, we're not so far away from that dream. Definitely to grow it, to be in every person's palm, on every phone, on every corner of each street.
So this is your dream now. What was your dream when you were a little boy? You
I
know
don't
this question we get at school, like, what do you want to be
I
when you grow up? Or
Yeah, I guess like every kid, I probably wanted to be a firefighter or an astronaut, but then you get hit by reality, and then you start focusing on things.
a lot of our viewers now seek inspiration. Some people are really depressed about what's happening nowadays. So what would you say to them? What would be your words to them?
Definitely seek your dreams and never give up. If you fall, you can come up again. If you have a dream, believe in it, chase it till the end until it becomes reality. I know times are tough, especially given the situation we're in with the virus. But this remember always that this is not something constant. We will come out of this hopefully better and stronger than before.
Yes, definitely. Thank you
Definitely.
very much. It was
Thank
such
you. It's
a
a pleasure.
pleasure having you with us.
The pleasure is mine. Hopefully, we'll see you soon. Definitely in real
Yes,
life.
in person. Yes.
Yeah.
Very soon. Stay safe. Stay
Thank,
home. And
like,
thank you for being with us in this episode of Connected from Home,
thank
from
you.
couch to couch.
From couch to couch.
Yes, it was definitely a
Yeah,
pleasure to have you.
definitely. Likewise.
Thank you.